Hello, I am here to show you how to do your first EVV appointment and maybe your second. EVV is electronic visit verification. It is required by the state of Colorado and other states, I think all states, for you to verify your visit electronically. This has to be done on an iPad or on a cell phone through the mobile app. You can't log in through your browser. I'm assuming that you have a username and password that's already set up and works, and that you have clients assigned to you, even if it's just the admin client. I'm going to go ahead and log in. This is a test password. And when you log in, you will see these few options. Because I'm focusing on this one on EVV, we're going to go to the fourth option. So I'm going to click on Scheduling EVV. In that, wow, look at that. I have my own scheduled session. Somebody in the admin team, not myself, or usually anyone on the clinical team, schedules the sessions. This is mostly like a regular appointment. This is something that is happening every week, every day, something like that. So I am scheduled in my agenda today to see this kiddo, Aiden. He seems to be a wonderful kiddo who's going to be so excited when I'm there at noon. If I take this appointment and I'm going to literally pick it up and move it to the left. And you can see that there's a check-in option. So I'm going to click on check-in on the right. And it picks up that I am at the Trinidad office and I'm here. But it's 8:30 at night and I was supposed to be here at noon. So, you know, what's hard is that when the client has no internet or my phone service isn't working, I can check in, but because it's more than 15 minutes around the time that I'm scheduled to be there, I need to actually make a note. So if like somebody's late or you're late or a normal circumstance happens, you can go ahead and just check in. But because I'm more than 15 minutes, I need to explain why I am checking in at 8:30 for a 12 o'clock appointment. So I'm going to say, no internet, client home. Arrived at 12:05 p.m. Submit. So it documents my location and my time of check-in. It's a really fast thing to do on a phone or on an iPad if you already have the appointment scheduled. But the next thing I'm going to show you is down there at the bottom. It says self-check-in in the center, and that is if, you know, you go see another client who's not on your schedule, or there's no one in your schedule, or you're doing an admin appointment. So I'm going to click that. Then there's an assumption that the start time is the time that I'm currently clicking. The end time is assumed to be an hour after right now, and I can change that when I check out, but for now it's fine. Then there's the individual. I'm going to click on the word individual, and there's all these clients that show up. Some of the problems that you might run into is finding that your client isn't listed, which if your client isn't listed, I'll show you there's a client named Client Admin. So I clicked on Admin, Client Admin, and they are now my individual. I can also select, I have to also select program, and there may be multiple, but it may say counseling, respite, groups and clubs, or ABA, and you would select the one that's appropriate. Then you will select service. For this client, the only service that I have an authorization for is admin time. So I'm going to go ahead and click it. Because this is the admin client, that makes sense. But if it was another client, which I will show you in a minute, there will be multiple options for you to select the service of. So I'll go ahead and hit next. Again, my location, it's funny, it said 155 a moment ago, and now it's saying 160. GPS is not perfect. If the GPS, I'm actually at 201 East Main Street if you were the male person. So it's been wrong both times. If you want to make a comment saying at Trinidad office and working on CPR class, something, whatever it is that you want us to know that you're doing at the admin office. I'm going to hit submit. It's going to think about stuff for a second. Now I'm doing two things at once, which is what we all want to be able to do. So my scheduled appointment that I checked in for late with AIBA is still sitting there. They're both yellow, the admin client and the AIBA appointment. I'm going to go ahead and check out now that it's been more than a minute. I can do that for demonstration purposes. But if I swipe to the left with AIBA's appointment, there is a yellow thing that says check out. I click on that and I say session ended at 4:15 p.m. at client's home. So I'm explaining any discrepancy between the location, because I'm currently at the Trinidad office, and about the time, because it's 8:35, and I'm saying that I ended at 4:15. So I'm hitting submit, and now the appointment looks green. I'm going to still wait another moment on the admin appointment to check out of that, just so that it has some time to clock my time. But know that there is the ability to make an admin appointment also for a specific client. If I select my individual as that same AIBA and his program, I know I'm going a little fast. In that, there is an authorization for the different services that his funding source allows, including assessment and, the BCBA RVT stuff. There's also one that is admin time. If you do something that is administrative but for a specific client, you can go ahead and select that admin time as a service code instead of selecting the client as admin client. That would be more for things that are not client specific, like maybe CPR or I don't know. You'll know. In your circumstance, you'll know what kinds of administrative things. And in that, you'll also will be making notes. I'll explain ISP data in another video, but this is just checking in and checking out. It affects your payroll, it affects billing, and this is the data that we use for both sides. Know that because I'm going to just hit back and I'm going to hit leave so I don't make a third appointment for the same client. Know that when it comes to payroll and billing, we're using the same check-in, check-out time. So when you check in and check out, you are walking up to the door at the client's house, or they just got dropped off at the office, or whatever your circumstance is. If you have any questions about that, just let me know. Send me an email. If you don't know what to do, you can still check in and check out with an admin client through the bottom center self-check-in. Find the individual. Go to, your list will be shorter than this, I promise. Client admin or admin client, depends on if you say last name first. And you will have, everyone will have the admin time as a selectable service, and you can still check in. And you can say, client not on my roster, emailed admin team, this is Billy Smith, session started at 8:15 5:35 p.m. Submit. So that you can at least demonstrate that you attempted to log in and or check in and check out, those types of, documentation things that the state of Colorado and other funding sources are going to require. So my list of troubleshooting items include if a client isn't listed, so you know to go ahead and use an admin check-in and email us. If a service isn't listed, like let's say that you logged in to do an assessment and there's no assessment code listed, then for now, use the admin client to check in and check out. I'm hoping that you know all the services that are on the auth. If you're scheduled for it, and if you're doing assessment, you would know how many units were available. But anyway, that's not for this purpose. Also, if a client is no-show or late, use the admin client for any amount of time that you're sitting there waiting. If they're more than 15 minutes late, you already have to put a note in there, or else it won't let you start your time or end your time. And so that amount of time, we just need to know what's going on. Was it actually that you checked in 20 minutes late because you showed up to a tantrum and you just had to rush in and start? Or is it that the parents just totally no-showed? And then when you actually were able to check in, that it was 45 minutes late. Whatever it is, note what was going on. Also, if the address isn't correct in the GPS, geolocation thing, don't worry. They are looking more for retrospectively. If you say that you are in one location and your notes say you're in another location, and then your GPS coordinates say that you're in a third location, then we have issues. If you're doing telehealth or some other thing that's allowed by that funding source, I'm not saying that that's always allowed, but if you know that it is, then just note it. It's okay. If it's not allowed though, and you say that you're at somebody's house when really you're at Starbucks, it will geolocate that you are not at the correct location. But if your client service actually is at Starbucks, because you're teaching them a social, lesson of exchanging money, then write that. It's okay. So yeah, just let us know if something seems off or missing, clients missing, anything like that. We'll clean things up as we continue, and also the ability to use that admin client will totally help with any of your concerns of being able to check in, check out. Just make really good notes. So awesome. Let me know if you have any questions. Take care. Bye.